So as soon as the Bank of England announced it was cutting rates, we hit the phones.
What about savings?
We've had a team ringing round the banks and the building societies to ask whether they're going to pass on today's cut to savers and borrowers. So far, just a few of the big lenders have said they will pass on the cut. The vast majority, as far as both savers and borrowers are concerned, are still deciding what to do.
Barclays is cutting its standard variable rate by 1.15%, but because it didn't pass on last month's 1.5% cut, its rate is still at 5.49%. Nationwide is cutting by 0.69% to 4%, whilst the UK's biggest lender, the Halifax, has only reduced its rate by 0.25% to 4.75%. The Halifax decision in particular is likely to anger the government. Not only does it have a £12 billion stake in the bank, but the Chancellor has again been urging lenders to pass on the cuts.
I met the chief executives of the biggest banks this morning, and I said to them that it was important that these reductions are passed on so that homeowners, businesses can benefit from that. But, you know, and a number of banks have made decisions today to do just that.
The problem is that if the government forces lenders to pass on rate cuts to borrowers, it forces them to cut savings rates too. Brian Boardman relies on the interest from his savings to top up his pension, and he says he's being squeezed between rate cuts and inflation.
Well, up to about 2 months ago, there wasn't really a problem. We could get rates that would give us about a 2% real return. Now we're finding it very difficult even to get anything that keeps pace with inflation.
All of this means now, more than ever, it's vital to shop around.
Don't forget, they want our money. They can't borrow it as easily on the international markets. They want it from us. They're trying to attract savers. So go for the best rates, because really, they need your cash.
There was one unexpected bit of good news this evening for more than 250,000 nationwide borrowers. The Building Society has decided not to enforce a condition of its tracker mortgages, which would have stopped most of today's rate cut being passed on. Richard Scott, BBC News.
And on the BBC News website, we've examined how the latest cut will affect borrowers and savers and other people, and you can find out about the impact. There's the address for you, bbc.co.uk/downturn.